How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video we're going to be talking about the Game Week 23 team selection, as well as taking a look at how our squad got on in Game Week 22. We're then going to look at the transfer plan going into Game Week 23 before finalizing the team selection with some surprising benches, I'm sure. So if that's something you're interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So right off the bat, I wanted to tell you guys that this video has been recorded before the Spurs vs Chelsea fixture, just due to the quick restrictions of time between the deadlines and the game weeks. I'm having to record this video the night before I release it, so I do apologize for that. Last time this happened, Liverpool played Spurs and Harry Kane got injured, so quite a lot of talking points came out of that. So just keep your eyes on the comments down below. If there's big changes in that Chelsea vs Spurs game, I will highlight them in the comments down below and I will address them in the Dayline with Dayvy stream. If you guys are confused, you can always hit me up on Twitter at DayvyFPL and just highlight your concerns or your questions, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. The YouTube comments are always the best place to get your questions answered, as I do usually answer every question in the comments down below. So if you do have any concerns, just drop them down below and I'll be sure to get you. But going on to the Game Week 22 review, we managed to get 81 points. I'm pretty sure the rank will go down after this since I don't own Heung-min Son and he's quite highly owned, but currently we're sitting just below that 140k mark. So yes, a green arrow of about 20k places. Actually quite a low green arrow considering we did manage to score 81 points, but I think that was just kind of due to Bruno Fernandes absolutely banging, and not a lot of people, but quite a few people managing to captain him, and he definitely scored more than our captain of Mo Salah. So another green arrow on the trot. Hopefully Heung-min Son doesn't come out and bang a hat-trick, as we might see a green arrow, but I will update you in the rank as well down in the comments down below. So starting off in goal, we have Johnston, who I actually had high hopes for this week, managing to play Sheffield United, one of the worst attacking sides in the Premier League. But wait, I forgot that West Bromwich Albion are one of the worst defensive sides, so only the 2 points from Johnston. Luckily, most goalkeepers this week managing to not perform well. Apologies if you do own Bernd Leno. I think he managed to score a -1 with that red card, and also Alex McCarthy not scoring well there. I think it was a 0 points, but I definitely think you have to take 0 points if your goalkeeper manages to concede 9 goals. I think 0 points is actually quite respectable for that result. But going back to Johnston, just 2 points there. Playing Fabianski wasn't too much in that, so I will happily take 2 points as long as Fabianski didn't go out and bang and get a penalty save or whatever. The rest of the defense is actually more shiny. We have Cancelo and Diaz both getting a clean sheet there. Not really much happened in that Burnley fixture. If you were a Sterling owner, you would be quite happy with that goal, but Cancelo and Diaz not getting any attacking returns, and Cancelo was subbed after that 60-minute mark, but luckily it was after, not before, and we still managed to get that clean sheet. Then one of the highlights of this game week was James Justin finally getting a haul. We spoke about in the team selection last game week how we thought that James Justin had a haul coming to him, just like Cancelo did, and this was the game week that it happened. Managed to run from that left flank all the way to the right flank and managed to go around the keeper and tap in the goal for a lovely 15 points. So definitely will take that 15 points from James Justin, because we've kept the faith in him, and I thought this Fulham game would have been a good one for him. But unfortunately, it wasn't a good one for Harvey Barnes as well. Just the 3 points from him. I was kind of hoping he would continue the scoring run of FPL points that he has had, but that wasn't the case, and it does look like we might have to be taking him out going to Game Week 23, but more of that in the transfer plan coming up. Going on to Gundogan. Gundogan managed to get a bonus point as well as an assist with his appearance points for a lovely 8 points, and for a player that is so cheap, I was really happy with owning him. And the nice thing about Gundogan is at his current price, he's rivaling those other defenders from Man City. I was considering going up with that triple up with Stones in defense, but Gundogan showing how much value he's worth, and a player that's on the form of his life is definitely one that I want to have in my FPL team. We're going to be talking about Bruno Fernandes before Mo Salah, because he's a little bit more fun to talk about. But 9-0 of Manchester United versus Southampton. I would have been really surprised if any of you guys predicted a 9-0, but it seems like whenever Southampton concede an early red card, which was a rightful red card, they just seem to crumble. I think it might be similar to Liverpool. If you do remember when Sadio Mane got sent off in Manchester City versus Liverpool for a high boot on Edison, Liverpool kind of crumbled as well. I think it's similar styles that they both play, really high intensity and high pressing styles that if you do go a man down, it absolutely crumbles, and that's exactly what happened. So Bruno Fernandes in the first half didn't get any returns. I think the captainers of him were quite worried, but then in the second half, he had a rejuvenation, managed to score a penalty, and I think 2 assists and also 3 bonus points. So 17 points, a massive haul there. If you managed to captain Bruno Fernandes, that was an absolutely sensational call, considering that Mo Salah only got the 2 points. So the thing with Salah is he actually had two big chances in my opinion, one earlier on in the first half and then one in the second half when Trent Alexander-Arnold whipped the ball into him, and you really would consider Mo Salah a player of his caliber to finish both those chances. But unfortunately, it was one of those days with Mo Salah. He seems to have these where he's completely off his pace. His first touch was absolutely dreadful, his finishing was absolutely dreadful, and his FPL score was absolutely dreadful. So only 2 points there. I can perfectly understand the reaction that a lot of managers have been having of taking him out, but I think in our own side we might look at actually benching him going to GW23 besides selling him. The front line also had a bit of action there. Calvert-Lewin, the main striker in our team there with 9 points. Just really happy he scored, kind of got a far post goal off a corner, which I always will take. Just happy that he managed to get back on the score sheet, and considering you brought him in for last game week's fixture and this game week's fixture, I think I will take 11 points from the English striker. Then Ollie Watkins scoring, but the thing about Ollie Watkins is he loves not getting any bonus points. I mean, Jack Grealish and Martinez, a player that got 1 assist and a player that conceded 3 goals, managed to get a bonus point over Ollie Watkins who scored. I just think that comes with the fact that his overall play isn't usually that great, misses a lot of chances and gets some offsides occasionally, so maybe that negatively affects his bonus points. But it's really annoying kind of having Ollie Watkins and he scores but then doesn't get any bonus points. We then have Bamford, the final player in our starting 11, who got an assist for a Rafinha goal, which is a little bit annoying as I did bring Harvey Barnes in for Rafinha, but I think Barnes and Rafinha over the last 2 game weeks have kind of cancelled each other out. Then going on to Souček, I know you guys are going to be in the comments down below absolutely raving about Souček if you didn't manage to start him, but what did I tell you? Start Souček if I bench him because he's always going to score. But 9 points there, luckily it wasn't 11 points as that just would have made the punishment even worse. But the overall decision of benching the West Ham defenders was correct with Fabianski and Soufal on our bench, and also Dallas. You just can't trust that Leeds defense unfortunately, but from an attacking point of view, nice to see that he started in centre midfield again. So now going into the transfers that we are considering for next game week. The first combination I'm going to be talking about is Souček plus Calvert-Lewin to Son and Antonio. Now the interesting thing about this is I am 0.1 short, so I hopefully need Heung-min Son to drop in price, or I need Souček to rise in price and Antonio not to. So Antonio and Souček are currently going to be rising on Thursday evening. So if Souček can magically rise and Antonio doesn't, I'll be really happy as I can simply just afford this move. But I don't think it's going to be too likely. I think Antonio will probably rise and Son will probably drop if he doesn't perform against Chelsea. And then it's also just going to leave me 0.1 out, and then I can't afford that move. So the more conservative move, the more move that I'm likely to make is Harvey Barnes to Heung-min Son, as I really do want to captain Heung-min Son for this game week. I know that Spurs have looked quite lackluster going forward, haven't been in the form since Harry Kane has left with injury, but I still think that a bad Spurs side will definitely score against a poor West Bromwich Albion side, as defensively West Brom are all over the place, and surely Son can get something against one of the worst opposition in the Premier League. So unfortunately we'll say goodbye to Harvey Barnes, who's been quite a trooper over these last 2 game weeks, and we'll be saying hello to the South Korean, who we will be putting the captain on if we do bring him in. I would really like to do the Antonio Son move and take Calvert-Lewin and Souček out, but the thing is Souček could still do well in this game against Fulham, so it might be a little bit of a sideways move there if I'm not considering captaining Antonio. So now looking at the side for Game Week 23, I know this is probably going to raise a couple of eyebrows, but this is my current thinking behind it. I will be addressing the situation right now of the benching of Salah, but this is a little bit reactionary to how I saw Liverpool play against Brighton and the way I've seen Man City play, not only defensively but also from an attacking point of view. Man City have been an absolute defensive giant over these past couple game weeks, and with the way Liverpool have been playing recently has been absolutely atrocious. So I am favouring actually a Man City clean sheet in here. That's why I'm starting Cancelo and Diaz. I think this game probably will be quite low scoring. I think Man City will be perfectly happy with a 1-0 or a 2-0, and that's why I am benching Gundogan. He could be involved, but I think the potential for a Man City clean sheet is a bit higher than a Gundogan goal, and so he's also on my bench. But Mo Salah is on my bench because if Sadio Mane is out injured, I definitely can't see Liverpool getting anything out this. If Sadio Mane does manage to recover, which I think he is on track for, then I will consider starting Salah. I just think it makes no sense to have that much money on my bench, but with the way Liverpool are playing right now, I do think I might put him on the bench just because the other players in my lineup have great fixtures. I mean, we could always bench a James Justin against Wolves. Maybe that'll be a more conservative situation, but Dallas has a good fixture, Soufal has a good fixture, Fernandes, Souček, Barnes might be on his way out for the likes of Heung-min Son, so just ignore that pick kind of. But then Watkins against Arsenal, maybe I'll bench him, but then Bamford as well is a great fixture. So this is kind of a rotation headache right now that I am considering, and it's really tough to bench my Man City options when they've been playing so well recently. So starting off in goal, we go with Fabianski, who is the mainstay on the side. I'm not going to be playing Johnston against Spurs when I'm considering captaining Heung-min Son even. So Fabianski is kind of a no-brainer, and I think it's a similar situation with Soufal. West Ham playing so well recently. West Ham playing playing really well defensively and from an attacking point of view that I think they definitely should do well against Fulham. So these two players are going to be in my lineup. And then Dallas, from an attacking point of view, Crystal Palace, also a little bit hit or miss. So he's on my side along with Justin. Justin, from an attacking point of view, managed to get his goal this week. Hopefully this is a good run of fixtures for Leicester that he can repeat these attacking returns. And then I've already spoken about Cancelo and Diaz. I think if I was to go more conservative, I would play Cancelo over Diaz just from that attacking point of view of Cancelo. I think both of these two players will start, so you don't have to worry too much about that. The midfield, we also have Bruno Fernandes, who's currently my captain, but if Heung-min Son gets transferred in, he'll be my captain. I don't think that Fernandes is actually that bad of a captain option, so if you don't own Son, or maybe you don't want to captain an Antonio, I definitely look at Fernandes, as I think he's a nice safe option. Souček right now, without Antonio, if I want Antonio, I have to take Souček out, which might be a little bit of a sideways move, as Souček has also been playing well recently. And then we have Bamford and Watkins, who I still also think could do well in this fixture. I'm not going to be playing Calvert-Lewin. If he does manage to get transferred out, I will definitely play Antonio though. I think against Manchester United, that's a tougher game. And Everton also haven't been performing that well from a stats point of view. And even from an attacking point of view, Calvert-Lewin hasn't been getting that many big chances. So I'm comfortable benching DCL and also Gundogan and Salah. If push comes to shove, this will be my bench. But I can honestly think that Salah will come on because Sadio Mane should be back for that Man City fixture. So this is going to wrap the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you new have not subscribed yet. I'll be checking you guys in the Dayline with Dayvy live stream if I do one. Otherwise, I'll just post the team over on my Twitter at Dayvy FPL. I'm going to be signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.